mornings, we come into a very specific beginning, a very specific way. And I think that that tradition is so important. Take this. It's so important because when we begin something a certain way, we're actually strengthening faculties within us. We're strengthening specific thought patterns. We're strengthening specific feeling patterns. And those aspects of ourselves strengthen subtle parts of ourselves. So when we sit, we say, okay, now it's time to step inside of my body. So let's go step by step. So finding that tall seat with ankles crossed. Maybe you're going to sit on a blanket to help. So we sit and then we bring our thoughts to a different place than they were before, right? Very specific place. That place is going to be different for everybody based on the practice, on your level of practice, on your dedication, on what you were doing right before. Right? There's many things that influence this. But here when we sit with this tall spine and the eyes closed and the chin slightly in and the crown of the head lifting upwards, we say to ourselves, now I'm beginning to quiet down internally, to quiet all the thoughts that float around without my control. Even if they still float around, I'm training myself to have more and more control over what those thoughts are, simply by saying, now is time to practice yoga. And that thought alone is training our mental body. It's where the thoughts vibrating within us. It's where they are, in the mental body. So we're altering these vibrations to the vibrations of practice, yoga practice. And this morning we'll bring our attention now to the feeling of this practice. What is the feeling that you cultivate every time you come to your practice? Is it a feeling of peacefulness? Is it a feeling of strengthening the compassion through which you can feel, think, and act? Is it strengthening a feeling of joy inside of you? Connect to the feeling. And those feelings then begin to vibrate the emotional body, the astral body. That are aligned with that feeling. Now we'll work with the energetic body. So we can say the etheric body. So letting now the breath be very consistent. We can say that we're digging deeper and deeper for that deep breath. And that way we can consider that if we take our minds down into the belly and start to work with the diaphragm and the rib cage and the chest, that we're building this complete whole breath. And then in that way we're strengthening the energetic body. So finding on the inhalation that you expand through the belly, the low rib cage, middle rib cage, upper rib cage, the chest. And then on the exhalation, releasing from the chest down through the rib cage all the way into the belly again. maintaining this pattern, and then we strengthen and strengthen the energetic body as we are wielding and controlling the way prana is entering and exiting, and finding that we're opening the passageways so that it enters and exits properly. Now notice the way that you feel. Notice the kinds of thoughts that are coming through the body. Notice the body itself. See that the quality of this experience has been enhanced by this effort of directing your thought energy, your feeling energy, and life energy. Now we'll begin with our invocation to this practice, Shiva mantra. If you don't know it, you can listen and hold the meaning in your heart, which I'll say first. And of course, if you know it, join me. Start with one long Om. I bow to the presence of the divine within, our true and highest teacher, that lives in and around us as being, consciousness, and bliss. It is ever present and radiates peace, lighting the way to transformation. Namah Shivaya Gurave Satchidananda Murtaye Nishprapanchaya Shantaya Niralambaya Tejase. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's come all the way down to our backs to start our practice. And we won't be there too long to start. I want to explore, really kind of see what we can do today that might be the same, but what could also be different from what we typically do in our Sunday practice. So once you're on the back, give yourself a chance to feel through the body. Maybe take the arms behind. Maybe move the knees and bend them and straighten them. Just give yourself a moment to, again, be in the body, experience it fully. And we're going to begin by waking up the core and waking up the glutes and opening the chest. So from wherever you are, even out, and then we'll be bringing the feet down with the feet planted. Keep them hips distance apart, and bring the heels as close to the bottom as possible. Now, if you have a block, this might be a good spot to check in with the block and bring the block between the knees. So if not a block, you can have like a sturdy pillow or a book. And before we rise, we're going to be just pushing the knees into that object. And we're going to do this a few times. So as you close the eyes, really pay attention to what's happening in the body, and push the knees into this object. Notice what's happening, and then release the knees, but keep holding the block steady. Pressing knees in and then releasing. Focusing on the sensations of the body. Now we'll just keep that item firm between the knees, but relax a bit here. Bring one hand, actually bring both hands to the belly. And what we're going to do, the thumbs might meet each other, might create like a triangular motion here, or a triangular shape with the hands, is just find that breath. Make sure that this breath is flowing through. So we'll initiate Ujjayi Pranayama. And so inhale deeply through the nose. See that the belly's lifting. Exhale, fog out through the mouth. See that the belly sinks down. Inhale, fog in through the mouth. Belly lifted a little. Close the mouth. Exhale through the nostrils. Belly sinks down. Now take a few breaths like this in victorious breath. Watching how the belly grows and shrinks with every breath. Let's bring our attention to that space, but release the hands now. So we have to hold the mind in that space, right in the belly region. Then when you're ready, arms down, pull the pelvis in and lift the hips, still holding that object in between. Walk the shoulders back towards each other. Now for 6 breaths, focus on the belly as you continue to activate all the muscle groups that need to be activated to be in this position. So feeling the glutes, feeling the back engage. Still focused on the belly rising and falling. And then pressing the knees into this block at the same time. Now we'll exhale, start to lower all the way down. And just pull the belly in now so the low back can meet the mat. Take a few breaths here so that even though the back is still there, pressing into the mat, you can feel the belly rise and fall. Now for 3 more breaths, keeping back on the mat. On the exhalation, really pull the belly in. And gently relax the back. You can take the object away from the knees. And then let's bring the knees in toward the chest. Give them a little bit of a squeeze. Rock side to side. So just adding small details to things we typically do to help enhance the experience. We'll take the arms out to a T at this time and just fold the knees over to the right. Fold them there. Maybe take 1 breath. You might turn the head away from the knees. And then we'll bring the knees back to center and take them over to the left. Turning the head to the right. 1 breath there. Now we're just going to move this way. So inhaling knees to center and then exhaling knees to the right, head to the left. Inhaling knees to center, head center. Exhaling, changing sides. Go through this a few times on your own. once you visit the left, that final time with the knees, and bring the knees to center. Give them a big squeeze. Now we're going to take a big change over to a forward fold at the top of the mat. So you can get there in the way that suits you. You might roll to the side and then find your way there. If you feel like you're a little bit more energetic today and you want to rock, you can rock back and forth until you come to the feet. You can use the hands to press up, and then we will be at the top of the mat now with the trunk down and the feet planted and the head letting go. Okay, so right from here in this forward fold, just exploring and experiencing. We'll have about 5 or 6 more breaths here. So again, remembering to maintain this consistent breath, deep breath. You can keep enhancing the energetic body here. And then as you inhale, come up halfway, keep the knees bent, feet hips distance apart, knees bent, and let's take the arms behind, squeeze the shoulders back. And maybe some adjustment here. You might roll the shoulders or squeeze one back at a time. And then let's pause here for 5 deep breaths. So this is Ardha Uttanasana. It's a half forward fold, but we have the knees bent. And let's bring the attention to the tailbone. The tailbone is shifting upwards as best as we can in this position, rather than rounding the low back and the tailbone shifting downward. So there's a difference here. So if you need the visual, it's either down or we're going to shift it up. This is where we're going to be. Knees will help with this, keeping them bent for now. Now exhale, release and lower. Keep the knees bent. And then inhale, take the arms behind. Find your way halfway up, lifting the head with the heart, and then exhaling, lowering. So continue this a few more times at your pace. Inhaling. Exhaling. The legs stay fairly still here. Very stable. We can sense some fluidity with the upper back and the arms, the whole spine. Including the head. So rather than a rigid motion with the head, let it be a fluid, soft motion. And we'll go through a few more times. The next time you're up halfway, pause there. We'll keep looking forward. Then we're going to be pushing into the heels as you start to rise with the flat back and begin to take arms to the sides, straighten the legs, and take the body upright. It feels so good to be upright after not for a little bit. So from here, just letting the limbs be long, the arms reaching upwards, the head coming back slightly. And then we'll bring palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. Step the feet apart to the edges of the mat. We're going to find ankle posture, Konasana. So we'll take the arms out towards the sides. I'm going to adjust my camera for a second here. Arms out towards the sides. And then reach them upwards and bring palms together, thumbs to the heart center. So just a few more of these. Inhaling, arms reaching up. Exhaling, palms together. We'll say one more. And then we'll take the hands behind the tailbone, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulders back, look upwards. Just open the heart before we side bend. Take 3 more breaths. And release, relax. Okay. We'll keep the right hand where it is, so I'll be in a mirror image to you. Right hand on the thigh. Inhale, reach the left arm upwards. Palm facing inwardly. And then begin to lower the right hand down the leg, but keep this left arm reaching upwards for a moment. Now feel like you're separating the hands from each other. Look upwards past the left hand. And now we'll look forward and take the left arm up and over the left ear. Three more breaths. So you see this is Konasana, angle posture. Kona is angle. Asana is posture. Different from Trikonasana, which is our triangle posture. The toes are facing the same direction here. Feet aren't too far apart. And now we'll inhale, reach up. Bring the palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. Release the hands along the thighs. Left hand stays where it is. It starts to trail down the left leg. And then we'll inhale the right arm up. I did that differently, didn't I? We started with the arm up before. So you could go into that specific way if you'd like. So we're looking up past the right hand. And then we'll look forward and take this right arm up and over the ear, out to the left. And inhale, come to center, reach the arms upwards, palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. Feet still where they are to the edges of the mat. Bring the hands behind again, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulders back, look upwards. Exhale, fold forward this time. Gazing past the legs here, right through the knees, right between the knees. And we'll release the arms down and let them hang loose for a moment. Now see if you can straighten the legs a little bit more. And if needed, bring platforms under the hands if you feel like it's hard to be in that position with arms, not supported and just hanging loose. Sometimes you can keep them hanging, right? But it's hanging from the shoulders, not the hands. Take a clearing breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the mouth. We're going to heel toe the feet a little closer together, but not hips distance apart. So just about a step closer together. And then we'll be stepping with the hands down to support. Step the left foot to the back of the mat. Keep the hands now to the inside of the right foot. So we're in a really low lunge here. We want to separate the feet as much as possible. First place that we're noticing though is right knee aligned over right ankle. And then we can start to separate the feet from each other. Okay, so then from here, bring the left knee down. And then see if you can bring the hands down to mat or blocks. And then just let the head go. Let the neck deactivate from behind for a moment. Couple deep breaths. So we're going to work towards a dragon posture. So that left knee is far back behind that left hip as you can get it. And then we'll lift the head and look forward for a moment. And then bend the elbows. Even if it's just maybe 1/2 inch that you can get them bent. Now see if you can get a little deeper, then start to bend those elbows a little bit more. And then begin to play around with this. So if you find it difficult to go lower, then you might think about straightening the arms and lifting the head on the inhale, and then bending the elbows and releasing the head on the exhale. And this is giving the body some important messages that it's okay to let go, it's okay to open up, it's okay to come out of whatever stiff areas that it's been sitting in. And so just giving messages to this body. Now, if you're able to go deeper, then you'll just go there. You can maybe start to bend the elbows to the point where you find the forearms on the mat. If you're open enough in certain parts of the hip and the inner leg, the low back, you might be able to get there. Now here we'll take about 3 more breaths wherever you are. And at this time, we're going to start to come out of this. The way we'll come out of it is bring your weight back into this left knee. So you'll need the hands down, of course. Then bring the weight into the left knee. And take this right leg behind. Okay? Bring the knee down. And now we're going to come into, I want to come to the belly. So we're going to bring forearms down and then just slowly rock hips down so that here we find our way to the belly. And we can bring the forearms down, but let them be parallel to the front of the mat. And rest the forehead on the hands, top of the hand. So at this time, let the forehead be on the left hand. And then bend the right knee. And take the right hand behind and hold right foot with right hand. So we're pulling this heel as close to the bottom as we can, might touch. And a few times we're going to isolate some movement here to the pelvis. So pull the pelvis in on the inhale. Keep holding the foot, but relax the pelvis. Inhaling. Engaging the pelvis, notice what happens to the right thigh and the top of the right leg, and then relax. And just go through a couple more times. And now you might come to the point where you feel comfortable relaxing the pelvis or keeping the pelvis pulled in and engaged. Just focusing on the right thigh. A nice clearing breath. That just might happen on its own. It's always a really good moment. And if it doesn't happen on its own, encourage it. Just do it. And the body and the mind will follow. Release the right foot with the right hand. I'm going to bring the forearm back to the front of the mat. And then go ahead and send the right knee, will come into a half frog posture. So send the right knee over to the right. We bend it, and it comes off of the mat, most likely. And then we'll rest the head, maybe back on the hands, or maybe it feels more comfortable to bring it down to the mat. You could take this right knee as far up as possible. This is a comfortable position, so you want to feel that restorative quality. Maybe left side of the face on the mat. And now we'll just let this right leg get heavier and heavier. No need to control it right now. Relax the left leg, relax the back. About 3 deep breaths. Okay, we'll start to straighten this leg and bring it next to the left. Now we're going to bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to take a reverse push-up, so kind of changing the way we're using energy right now. You can either roll over the toes, pull the pelvis in, and squeeze the glutes as you press into the hands and rise to the top of a push-up. Or you can have the knees come to the mat, lift the feet, pull the pelvis in, and then press into the hands to rise. So just see what felt right, and then we're going to just do it again by coming back all the way down. Or all the way on the mat. Find either feet or knees to the mat. Pull the pelvis in, use the glutes, and then press into the hands, rise, and then lower. We're just going to do 3 total. It's not easy to do a reverse push-up. We're going to go one more time. So when you're ready, find your way up. And then bring the knees down. Let's rest in child's posture for a few deep breaths. Knees together or apart. Find a place for the forehead to rest. We're going to start to move again. So when you're ready, bring the hands forward, come to hands and knees. Let's actually come down to the back again. So we're going to cross ankles. So we've done one side right now. We're still going to do the other side in a moment, but we're going to come all the way down to the back where we began and just explore, move around. Take notice of changes. Right, so maybe you're going to move side to side with knees, or take legs up, or extend arms. And then we'll have the knees come back to center. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Arms out to a T. And let's start moving the knees side to side again. Knees to one side, the head to the other direction. Knees to center and over to the other side. Just continue a little longer. We're going to come to center. Now we won't go into our bridge posture as we did before, just because we're fairly uneven, and I'm not sure, can you sense that unevenness? It's harder when we're in this position, perhaps. We're going to shift over to a forward fold again. However you get there, whether you rock up or you roll to the side, but we'll find the feet hips distance apart to begin. And once you're in forward fold, we'll keep the knees bent for a moment and begin to go into the same direction as before by coming up halfway, lengthening the back, sending the tailbone upwards and maintaining that there. Squeezing shoulders back, lifting head, exhale, lowering, keeping tailbone lifted. Inhaling, rising, halfway, exhale, lowering. A few more of these. Again, looking for that fluid motion. The head is a part of that. So much of what we're doing is taking us away from a rigid experience in the body and the mind. Right? So letting this motion reflect this fluid, flowing, changeable body. Now we'll be inhaling halfway up and then rising all the way to standing, keeping the knees bent and feeling the glutes engage here as we rise all the way up. Take the arms up and bring palms together, thumbs in towards the heart center. 3 circles of the arms, inhaling up, exhaling, hands in. Okay, we have hands together, thumbs to the heart center. This time we'll step the feet apart to the edges of the mat and take the hands behind the tailbone, interlacing the fingers, squeezing the shoulders back, just like we did before. 3 breaths. And relaxing. So arms alongside the body. Let's find Konasana, once again, angle posture. So here we'll go in by sliding the right, I like picking up that arm first. That felt good to me. So pick up the left arm first. Feel the length in the spine and even in the waist. And then begin to take the right hand, slide it down the leg without collapsing the waist. Now you can keep this left arm rising up, working on separating the hands from each other. And then take the left arm up and over the ear. Another breath. Inhale, rise, come to center, and then we'll release the left hand down. So this time we'll inhale the right arm up. Look up, feel the length in the spine and the arm. And even in that left arm, feel the length there. Now begin to slide the left hand down the left thigh, feeling like you're focusing on separating the hands from each other. And on the next exhale, take that right arm up and over the right ear. Next inhale, rise back up. And exhale the hand down. So we still have the feet to the edges of the mat. Once again, take the hands behind the tailbone, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulders back, look up, and then this time we'll fold again. So exhale, release, lowering but keeping fingers interlaced. Letting the arms actually stay here for a couple breaths. I was ready to release them, but keep them active. Just another breath here. And then release them. Let them go. Hang from the shoulder. Let the hands rest somewhere. Clear the breath out through the mouth. And now we'll plant the hands so that we can heel toe the feet just a step together. So not all the way, just one little step. And then step the right foot to the back of the mat. Walk the hands in so they're to the inside of the left foot. You have the left knee over the left ankle. That's our first step. So we align a nice vertical shin. And then we can bring that right foot as far back as possible, separating the feet from each other, and then right knee comes down. Bring the hands down to either the mat or the blocks. Now we'll go ahead and release the head. Let the head go. The arms can stay straight. And then on the next inhale, pick up the head. Looking forward, go ahead and bend the elbows. Where can you bend the elbows to? And then maybe you continue to find that motion where you inhale and straighten and lift the head, and then exhale, bend the elbows and let the head go. Even if at some point you decide to stay still, this is a good way to communicate to the body. Finding a place to be, whether it's still moving or being still. Letting the breath be deep and consistent, keeping the mind focused. So once you have the alignment figured out, then you can focus on the breath. We'll take 5 more breaths wherever you are. So we're going to start to come out of this, planting the hands, straightening the arms, Bring your weight into the right knee. Pick up the left foot and take it back. So both knees are down. Work your forearms to the mat. And then little by little, work the thighs to the mat. So I like to sway my way down to see what works for you. Once you're here, forearms are parallel to that front side of the mat. And then we're releasing the head down. Right to the top of the hands, where we'll breathe a couple breaths before we move into the next little segment. So at this time, we'll have the forehead to the right hand. Take the left hand behind, bend the left knee, and hold the left foot or ankle with the left hand. Now, you might keep the forehead right here, and this helps the neck. So you can keep it here, or you could help the neck differently by letting the head come to one side of the face. And then we'll isolate the movement to, and I really do think for the isolation, I think forehead to hand is going to be better. We're going to keep it there for now. We're going to pull the pelvis in as we're holding the foot, and then relax on the exhale. And go through this a few more times. Everything we're doing is increasing circulation and essentially fluidity in the body. Right? Fluid motion is increasing. Life flow also increasing. Life force moving through and through clearer channels. So then when you're ready, keep the pelvis pulled in or relax, whatever feels right to you, and then take a few breaths. And release the left leg. Bring the hands down. And then we'll go ahead and release or send this left knee over to the left. So finding a half frog. Left knee is now off the mat, out to the left. And then we'll rest maybe the right side of the face to the mat or to the hands. And just allow yourself to sink into this position. The left leg getting heavier. And the right hip getting heavier. Both of the feet heavier. Softening the expression on the face. Nice clearing breath, wherever it comes out, let it be. And if you aren't taking those big exhalations, just go for it consciously with effort. And we're going to start to straighten this left leg to meet the right leg. Bring the forehead to the mat. Bring the hands in and underneath the shoulders. Now before we come back into those reverse push-ups, we're actually going to do some strengthening of the back body. So in the next inhale, lift the head and the hands and the chest up. Look forward. Now maybe also lift the feet up, but if you do, see if you can keep the heels pressed against each other. And then we'll exhale and lower and do this a few more times. So inhaling, lifting the head, the hands, the chest, maybe the feet and the thighs, and then exhaling, lowering. Let's say 5 more. On the 5th one, hold here and take 3 deep breaths. So if you separate the heels from each other, you can do this, but keep the toes engaged. And then exhale, lower down. Okay, reverse push-ups. So palms down, pull the pelvis in. Settle either the knees or the feet, the ball of each foot to the mat. And then begin to press into the hands and rise. And then lower, but come all the way down because it's more difficult to lift the body off the floor. And when you're ready, press and rise, and then lower. Press and rise, and lower. Final one. And find your child's posture. Knees to the mat. Lower down. Rest. Let's take a nice clearing breath in through nose, out through mouth. And rise up to table posture, hands and knees. Knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. We'll move through some cat-cows here. So inhaling, relaxing the belly, tailbone shifts up, head shifts up. Exhaling, engage the belly, tailbone shifts down, head shifts down. Continuing, inhaling, belly drops little by little, head lifts. Exhale, belly engages, but make sure at the bottom of that exhale, you pull the belly in even further. We're going to tone and strengthen there. Inhaling. Exhaling, keep going. So we'll go through a few more. And then we're going to come into a neutral table. I'd like to thread the needle today. So when you're ready, you can have knees under the hips, or you might even separate them just a little bit. And then inhale the right arm upwards. Take a breath here, so hopefully feel the chest open as you're splitting the hands apart in this position. And then exhale, thread the right arm underneath the left. Come down to the right side of the face. Focus on this for a moment. And then you might go a little further today by straightening the left leg, bringing the ball of the foot to the mat. So still grounded in the left foot, the right knee, the right shoulder, left hand, right side of the face. Now if you'd like a little extra challenge, you might lift the left leg. In order to be there, stay with stability, we have to keep our mind focused on those grounded points. Right shoulder, right knee, right side of the face, left hand. And then we'll exhale, send the left knee down if it was risen. Press into the left palm. Inhale, lift the right arm up. And then exhale the right hand down. Inhale, lift the left arm, take a breath here. Next exhalation, thread the left arm underneath the right arm. Come down to the left side of the face. No need to rush, just settle here for a moment. So if you'd like to go further, you can extend the right foot to the back of the mat, straightening the right leg, noticing where you have those grounded points. Left knee, left shoulder, left side of the face, right hand, right foot for now. And then if you'd like, you can straighten or lift the straight leg, right leg. So with that, letting the weight travel to the left. Otherwise you'll tumble, and that's really okay. But eventually we want to find that stability in a challenging space, challenging position. We'll have the right knee down if it was risen. Press into the right hand, lift the left arm. And exhale the left hand down. Let's cross the ankles and come to seated. Bring the legs out in front of you. And we'll start with the left leg forward. Bring the right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Okay, so just adjust whatever you need to adjust to be able to be here with a tall spine. See, shoulders and the neck need a little movement maybe. And then from here, inhale, lift the arms up. On the exhale, hinge forward to the point where the trunk won't go any further unless you round the back. But we're not going to round the back. We're going to keep the back straight. Release the hands wherever they go to comfortably without straining and trying to take them far forward. Inhale, find length. Exhale, bend the elbows to just help the trunk lower, keeping the back nice and long. Inhaling, straightening the arms, lifting, exhaling, lowering. Now as you do this, you might find there's an opening and then there's some space for the hands to walk forward into. You can keep the left knee bent if you're very tight in that space, but just keep the toes pointing up on the left foot. So you can keep the hands in the same spot on the leg and then just come up by straightening the arms. You might find that the back is now starting to lower a little bit more. And then we're going to find that space where you can fold, keep the back fairly long, and you can slightly adjust the head so that you line up the neck with the rest of the back, rather than arching, looking forward, which usually I say let's do that, but here we can line it up. And then just focus on every exhalation, letting the body lower a little bit more. Now we're going to take this a little step further to get into the shoulders as well. So we'll be here for a moment. And then we're going to be crossing arms. So we'll take the right hand to the outer left leg. Could be the knee, it could be the ankle, could be the foot. Then we'll cross left hand to the right thigh or knee. Okay, so now we're getting the shoulders closer towards each other. And then we'll start to bend the elbows to help the trunk lower. Taking full breaths. So when you breathe, especially in this position, on the inhale, you're going to feel expansion all over the place, in the low back, in the shoulders, the upper back. And then on the exhale, you'll feel that release. You might even feel this in the back of the leg as you're breathing in. Everything presses out as you breathe out. Everything comes back in. You might drop the head. And we'll start to rise. And just unwind the arms. Just take the hands, walk them behind for a moment. Squeeze the shoulders back. Lift the heart. And maybe wiggle out of that and switch. So right leg forward, left foot to the inside of the right thigh. First, we'll sit up nice and tall. Right toes pointing up, foot is flexed. Inhale, reach the arms upwards. Exhale, hinge forward, keep the arms lifted to start. Pay attention, where's the tightness, keeping you from going forward. And then find that end point, bring the hands to the right leg. So here we go on the inhale, straighten the arms. On the exhale, pull the trunk down just a little bit. Inhaling, straightening. Exhale, a little bit of a pull. And again, as you find that opening, you might be able to take the hands forward, but we aren't going to travel with hands up and down the leg. They're going to find their spot and stay firm there, but the upper body will move up and down. So find the point where you can be a little bit lower. You can align the neck with the rest of the back just by probably lowering the chin just a little. Still kind of looking forward. We're going to cross the arms in a moment. So from here, we'll have left hand to the outside of the right leg or foot or ankle. Right hand over to the left knee or outer thigh. And we'll inhale, feel length, feel expansion. Exhale, feel a release. You might drop the head. About 4 more deep breaths. And start to find your way out, walking up. Take the hands, walk them back a bit, squeeze the shoulders back. And release. And we're going to go into a back bend in a moment. That's where I'm leading us here. But before we do, just sit up tall so we can focus on the neck, because it's really important that we don't leave the neck out of this. So once you have ankles crossed, move the shoulders in circles a little bit. And then release the hands towards each other. Let them fold in towards each other right in the center. We'll just move the head left and right a few times. The breath is still consistent, deep and strong. And then we'll bring the head to center and just bring the chin in towards the neck and then the chin towards the sky. Chin lowers and then comes in towards the neck and then up towards the sky. Now we'll keep the chin in towards the neck and low. Bring the head to center. Lift one ear up towards the sky. Take 4 breaths. This is my favorite stretch. Bring the head back to center and the other ear up towards the sky. And then we'll bring the head back to neutral. Release the head, shake it out, and let's come all the way down to the back. So we're going to come back into that strong bridge posture that we started with today. Feet planted, shoulders back, with or without the object between the knees. Bring the attention to the belly. Let it move as you breathe. Inhale, lift the hips upwards, walk the shoulders back towards each other. Maybe interlace fingers this time and press the straight arms down. Lift through the back body. Draw the knees towards each other. Two more breaths. And exhale, release the hips down. Let the knees come out to the sides. Bring the arms out to the sides. Bring the knees to center. Fold the knees over to the right. Turn the head to the left. Keep shoulder blades down. Knees come back to center and over to the left. Head turns to the right. Bring the knees back to center. Maybe a nice big squeeze, and then we'll let these legs go. We'll let these arms go. Take the shoulders back towards each other first, and then just let the body weight keep them stabilized there. Keep the hands away from the legs, palms flipped up. Relax the face, and let the body sink now. This time we're just giving in to gravity. Relaxing the muscles in the face. Relaxing the toes, the fingers. You might take a big sigh out through the mouth as you encourage this letting go process. Relaxing a little bit more. And a little bit more. Going to just share with you as you rest in this position, as you are more receptive in this relaxed, peaceful state. This one phrase from Rumi, and just let it flow through you. Feel the artistry moving through and be silent. Feel the artistry moving through and be silent. Feel the artistry moving through and be silent. Now, if you're ready to rise, start to breathe more deeply. Just come back to this breath, feeling the breath move through you, even as you are now stirring again, allowing yourself to experience the artistry, as he says, of the breath moving in and out. And then letting the fingers, the toes move, the arms, the legs. You can bring knees to chest, maybe a little bit of rocking, rolling to the side. You can rest there for a moment. And then when you're ready, begin to rise again. And if you want to stay down, you can too, you know. You feel like this is a good time for you to stay inactive and silent and receptive, you can. We're going to be sealing our practice and Mangala mantra is what I like to share at the end of the practice, and this is a mantra, or we can even say a prayer that is wishing that we all find truth in our lives, and that our world is properly guided by the sages, the saints, by the masters. We can say those who are wise, who have realized the truth themselves, and guided by their hand, we can all feel true abundance that is always here for us, and that all beings are happy, healthy, and free from suffering. So I'll chant it. You can join me if you know it, and then we'll end with 3 times chanting Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. And then Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Svasti Prajabhya Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahi Mahisha Go Brahmanebhyah Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I honor the light in you that is the same light in me. Namaste.